All right, everyone. Right now, Brazil's socialists are on the warpath. They're trying to imprison political dissidents and crack down on what they call fake news, but really they're trying to crack down on free speech. It's just a naked censorship move. And usually when fake news is invoked as a topic, be assured that it's not disinformation that they're trying to get rid of. It's information that is maybe consequentially bad for them and for their political movements. Elon Musk weighing in the other day, saying that the staff at X in Brazil were not safe and they were going to try to get him out of the country, and effectively going to cyber war with the nation of Brazil's socialist system, including its socialist-heavy judge. One of them is named Alexander de Moraes, I believe, probably mispronouncing that. And he's been on the warpath singularly. He's one of their top court justices towards Jair Bolsonaro's inner circle and people such as that. And their latest move is to try to pressure Twitter to remove posts or to demote them. It kind of depends if they are inconvenient in any way for members of the socialists in Brazil. Of course, they've gone after Bolsonaro, so they're going after everyone else as well. Bolsonaro spending an extended vacation in Florida, if I remember correctly, some time ago. Can't remember whether he went back to Brazil. Here's my problem. I believe that US-based firms should generally attempt to promulgate free expression. It's inconvenient, therefore, not just what Brazil is doing, but what the EU is doing as well, trying to meddle with firms that are not even based in their countries, threatening them with lawsuits and stuff. Ultimately, this is going to lead towards a balkanization of the internet. If the US government is not effective in cracking down on free speech, and it's trying to, we see that with the Biden administration on a regular basis, and we're hoping that they lose. If that is not successful, and the U.S. remains committed generally to free expression, smaller upstart companies that make use of things like VPNs and so forth that encourage free speech are going to get used more and more by these other countries, to the point where they're going to just outright block them. You're going to have a beefy free speech apparatus that is out of reach of people in certain countries. They'll be completely geo-blocked. There are ways around it. Elon Musk has pointed out that Brazilians should use VPNs. Probably a good idea if you're being critical of a government that tends to persecute its citizens on a regular basis, like the Brazilian socialist government is. Then probably you want to try to hide your identity. This is also why I believe strongly in internet anonymity. While it's good for a content creator like myself to be able to identify ourselves online, and I have no problem with that. It's just, it can't really be avoided in my case. And other, larger content creators. The average person should be able to make a tweet or a gab post or whatever, do what they want to do, and not have to associate their official identity with it. Or if they do need to do so, that company has some stringency in place to not disclose that identity unless there's something illegal going on under the laws of the country in which that company is actually based. So, for example, with Twitter, it's based in the United States. It is legal in the United States to post things that the government does not believe are true, or pretends not to believe are true, for convenience sake, for political sake. It is legal to do that. It is not legal in every country in the world. In some countries, you can get beheaded for speaking ill of your government. Even over in the Netherlands, again, developed country, very first world, highly educated. You can't criticize the royal family in the nation of the Netherlands. And not much to criticize. They seem pretty cool by my standards. As far as royal families go, certainly better than the British. But I don't agree with the premise. You should be able to criticize whoever you want. Well, you can criticize them, but you can't insult them. There's a fine line. Again, differential enforcement, unfortunately, is a thing in human order, so that becomes the problem. Well, your criticism, that one's fine, but this one goes a little bit too far, and it's pretty authoritarian when you think about it. In the United States, I can call Biden a fuck-up and claim that he committed incest with his daughter. I'm not going to get in any trouble with that, because it's perfectly legal for me to say that. But if I'm in Brazil, and I claim that El Presidente down there is a fuck-up and committed incest, I can get arrested for that. The problem is that most of the internet is U.S. firms. The U.S. is lopsidedly important when it comes to administering the largest sites and services on the internet, and increasingly we've got these other countries attempting to tamp down on that because they never developed the concept of free speech. Certainly the EU doesn't exactly hold it in mind. If you look at what the Chancellor of Germany repeatedly says, or the people in Brussels say, free expression ain't their MO. It's because they're from the old world. The New World Order is, by the way, the American World Order. People take that out of context. Sometimes somebody will utter that and they have more malevolent things in mind, but the basic premise is literally the American World Order, which I think is a good thing. I wish that it were more American. I wish that the United States were more American. And that's the whole problem, is that we've got away from the constitutional civics and the revolutionary fervor that built the nation and indeed Western civilization at large. And we're allowing ourselves to get bullied around by a bunch of authoritarians. If the United States stood for more Americanism, it'd be a better world. If I were president of the United States, I would immediately write a letter telling the Brazilian president to fuck himself. That's number one. And I would say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to encourage your citizens to break your laws, because I think that you're an authoritarian nut job. We're gonna make sure to leaflet your country with hints on how to use VPNs and all of the cool new tech sites and stuff like that. Have you ever heard of Rumble.com? Do you use BitChute? Well, Brazilian people, there is indeed a better way forward. Yeah, BitChute has to play nice with the UK authorities, but it doesn't matter what the Brazilians say. Who cares? It's not based in Brazil. Same old for all of these sites. I would be openly encouraging the big tech sites to do what they used to do with like SOPA, PIPA, and ACTA and stuff like that, and say, look, you need to stand up more against the tyranny in some of these countries. By the way, have some balls even in this country, because not every other administration is going to encourage you to promote free expression. Yeah, you should be doing that. You know, if an advertiser leaves your company because someone posted an edgy video, get a new advertiser. It's not like other people don't want free money, now do they? Yeah, I got a 2-to-1 return on this ad revenue here, this ad campaign here. Who's going to say no to that? Just make sure your ad campaigns are feasible and build it and they will come, basically. You don't got to worry about losing money. If all the monopolistic big tech firms in the United States just coalesce and said, you know, we're not doing this anymore, where are the advertisers going to flee to? Where are they going to actually advertise? MSN.com? Advertise on Yahoo? Yeah, no, fuck Microsoft. Yahoo for the win. I don't think that's the way that it would work. I think that it would be much better a world if we had more free expression. We should be doing the same thing with promoting gun rights around the world as well, especially in places like Taiwan and Argentina, and apparently Brazil. That's about all. Peace out.